For the last 3 decades, Knowledge Center at Bursa has offered technology, resources, services, space, and a sense of community. Since 1985, 14,000 titles have been collected, with care and attention to high financial literacy standards. In collaboration with a global community of institutions, we ensure access to the world's diverse intellectual and cultural economic heritage, as well as fast online services for connectivity to the financial world. Serving the Bursa Malaysia community and beyond, Knowledge Center at Bursa empowers you in your trading and investment analysis research.
Financial information at my fingertips.
Visit Knowledge Center at Bursa Malaysia today for the collections, for the services, for the sense of community.
You have suffered financial loss while investing, and you think your bank, broker, fund management company, unit trust management company, PRS provider or distributor, or their agent or representative is responsible. You need help sorting out the problem or want to seek redress. Where do you go? Sidrek is here to help you start the conversation and reach some resolution. First, lodge a formal complaint with a company that sold or offered you the unit trusts, shares, derivatives, or other capital market product or service. But you're not happy with their response. You have 180 days from their final written reply to come to Sidrek. Or if there's no written response, and it's been 90 days since you wrote to them, you don't need to wait longer. You may come to Sidrek even though you haven't received a final response yet. Sidrek first checks the eligibility of your claim. For example, is it within Sidrek's claim limit? Is it against a member of Sidrek? And so forth. If your case is eligible, we begin the dispute resolution process. All information in this process is confidential. We get both you and the member you're complaining against to sit with us and have a conversation. Documents and information will be required from both parties. No lawyers are allowed in the mediation process, as we keep the discussions informal and private. Our mediators are impartial and will hear both sides out and help parties communicate constructively towards resolving the dispute. 2 outcomes are possible at this stage. Either both you and the member agree to a settlement, or you don't. If the both of you agree to a settlement, an agreement is signed and the mediation process ends successfully. But if both you and the member fail to reach a satisfactory resolution, mediation has thus failed. But don't worry, Sidrek then proceeds to the next stage, adjudication. During adjudication, parties are given the chance to provide any further information to help their case and ask each other further questions. Our adjudicator will then study and consider all facts and information provided, including the conduct of the parties, laws, and best industry practices, as well as what's fair and reasonable. Sidrek's adjudicator will then make a final decision on the dispute and the monetary claim. If the decision is in your favor, it could be a full award or a partial award for your claim. But if the decision isn't in your favor, then no award will be made. You, the investor, will still have a choice. If you reject the decision, Sidrek will simply close the case and you may seek other legal avenues for redress. If you choose to accept the decision, however, the member has to comply with it. Once the parties have confirmed compliance to the decision, Sidrek will close the case. So let Sidrek help start the conversation towards resolution. For more information, visit sidrek.com.my or call 03 2282 2280.
Bursa Malaysia has been part of the Malaysian economic growth for over 4 decades. We have been working relentlessly to create a transparent, efficient, and vibrant stock exchange.
While we've been working at building a vibrant marketplace, inclusivity and contributing towards economic growth, we have also channeled efforts and resources towards supporting the community at large. Shares to Share is one such effort, which has been developed to create positive impact towards society and the environment. To put it simply, Shares to Share is a transparent and easily accessible facility that enables investors to donate their listed securities or proceeds from the sale of their listed securities towards charity through Yayasan Bursa Malaysia. You can donate odd lots or even broad lots. The funds from the sale of these shares will be channeled to approved charitable organisations and their respective initiatives or projects.
Bursa Malaysia has waived its portion of the transfer fee, clearing and trading fees for all transactions that are conducted under Shares to Share. The participating brokers of Shares to Share have also agreed to waive their portion of the transfer fee and brokerage. The charitable organizations that have been selected have undergone the necessary due diligence process and have been duly approved by an independent selection committee.
At least 500,000 populations live with some kind of disability. They are most of the time being left behind. We need to empower them, otherwise they will continue to be the liability. A lot of human resources wasted from this program.
We provide a lot of support for persons with disability who are young adults and adults. We have a social enterprise called Project I'm Possible, where we managed to hire all persons with learning disability to work here. We have a cafe, bakery, weaving, and we have an art gallery.
Purity of thought, word, and deed, that is action, is very important to be really successful. We must know some skills to be able to help us then paperwork. The grant from Shares to Share will be used for, one is sewing, handicraft, classical dance, and so on.
Our patients have to be fed, they have to be looked after. We look out for any sort of disease they might develop, and also those unforeseen circumstances. Thanks to Bursa's initiative, we can be a little bit easy on our patients and their family members.
Donations will all be channeled to organizations that are involved in the sustainable development of Malaysia. The Shares to Share scheme offers you the chance to do so in a simple and effective way.
Bursa's Shares to Share allows us to do good by donating our shares to charities. To join us in making a difference to the society by donating your listed shares.
Shares to Share is open to all donors, individual as well as corporates or other types of entities. You can transfer your listed securities via Bursa Anywhere app at a click. For more information, please visit our Bursa Malaysia website.
Hello everybody. Welcome to today's webinar brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by our company LifeChamp. Our webinar title today is Mastering the Fundamental Analysis of Shariah Compliant Crude Palm Oil Futures, FCPO. So welcome everyone to this webinar. My name is Shen Chu. I'm the moderator for this session. Now, before we begin, disclaimer, whatever we share today is only for educational purpose. In no way that we give any recommendation for you to buy or sell any listed derivative that we mentioned here. If you decide to make any investment or trading decisions, you're 100% responsible for all your investment and trading risk. Now, allow me to introduce our speaker today. It is none other than the top remiser of Bursa Malaysia in 2022, Dr. Arif Zainuddin. Okay, today we are very honored to have the top remiser for BMD to share with us about this topic. And he's not only a top remiser, he's also a Bursa Malaysia derivatives recognized speaker. He's a remiser under Phillip Capital Sdn Bhd. And he himself is a licensed medical doctor under the Malaysia Medical Council. So pleasure to have you here today, doctor.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you two as my host as well.
All right, so I'll just hand over the floor to you, Dr. Arif.
All right, share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay. Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to give my gratitude to Bursa Malaysia and LifeChamp, Shin Chu, for organizing the event tonight. The topic that we will be learning tonight is on the fundamental analysis of the Shariah compliant instrument under Bursa Malaysia derivative, which is the crude palm oil futures, or best known as FCPO. Okay, so now that if you have learned fundamental analysis for any financial market, I kid you not, it tends to be boring, right? It can bore you to death when you learn about all the something like financial statements and things like that. Okay, but the fundamental analysis that we are going to talk about tonight is about the financial market that is something more reactive, more volatile, so fast that when there's a big news coming, the chart would react aggressively in mere seconds and minutes. Tonight we're going to be learning, we're not going to be learning about some dry facts like when supply is more than demand, then price will go down, or when demand is more than the supply, market will go up, and yada yada. No, okay. I will be cross-referencing all the things that I'm showing on the slide as it happened in the past. Okay, I will be sharing the link on the chat. So make sure you see the chat as well. For example, I'll give you this one. Okay, I shared a link on the chat so that you can see what are the things that you're going to be looking at tonight. So as per required by the host, I'll be speaking in English for the webinar tonight. So if you need clarification about anything at all, for any of the things that I'm sharing on the slides, let me know in the comment section. Okay. So are you ready? Is everyone ready? Okay, all right. So it's Friday night, so let's keep it light, okay? So hold on, let me skip it. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna go into is what is FCPO itself. Okay, before we even start talking about supply and demand, about what are the policies, import, export, tax, and everything, we need to learn what is FCPO first. Okay. Probably if you heard about FCPO in the Facebook ads, in Instagram ads, or anywhere at all, or maybe in YouTube or anywhere at all, you need to understand what FCPO is, okay? Before you want to trade FCPO, you understand what are the fundamental analysis, fundamental factors that revolve around FCPO. So if you remember, FCPO peaked all the way until 7,200 last year, and now currently trading at around 3,900. To understand what FCPO is, let's look at the product or from the FCPO itself. Okay, what's that one item on the shelves of Mydane, Giant, and Lotus that saw an increase in price last year? What is that? What is that product that you saw in Mydane and Giant that you know, especially during Raya, right? It's the cooking oil. Okay, you see this? The product is the cooking oil. Okay. And where does cooking oil comes from? It comes from sawit, okay, or CPO, crude palm oil, okay. So when CPO price jumped all the way from 3,500 from 3,500 to 7,200 last year, what happened to the cooking oil price? To the moon, okay. Exactly, it went to the moon, okay. Almost, I don't know, probably about 40 or 50 ringgit last I remember. But do you know what was the main cause of the rocketing price? Do you know what was the main cause of the price went up all the way from 3,500 to 7,200? from to 7,000 region. Okay, it was the Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, did it went up all the way until 7,000 because of a technical rebound, or probably because of some Sifu pressed buy 1,000 lots every 5 minutes, every minute he pressed buy 1,000 lots? No. Okay, it's because of the war. Okay, it's not because of course what complies together with the rise is also can be explained by the technical part itself, but the main cause is because of the war. Okay, so that's part of the fundamental things that we're going to be talking about in the topics tonight. Okay, so what is FCPO? So CPO, as you know, the CPO is the crude palm oil. Okay, the FCPO, the F part is the futures. Okay, so what is futures? Okay, what is futures? So futures is part of the derivative. So in Malaysia, we have this one exchange that's regulating all the products under the derivative. So the examples of derivative we have such as options, okay, CFD, forward, and futures lah. So FCPO falls under the BMD palm oil complex under the agricultural commodity. Okay, so what is futures? So futures by itself is a contract, agreement, okay, or perjanjian. All right, so remember this, futures is a contract for the exchange of the commodity, but not the commodity itself. You buy a contract or agreement to agree to receiving the underlying asset. So in this case, FCPO, what is the commodity that we are receiving? What is the commodity that we are receiving when we're trading FCPO? This is the CPO lah, okay? So you need to understand that FCPO is not about selling CPO, but it's about selling contracts or agreements for delivery and receiving of the FCPO, okay? So I give you an example of what a futures contract is. Okay, so let's take Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali in this case, he is a durian farmer. And he makes 2 tons of durian per month. Okay, and then Mr. Abu, which is our focus right now, Mr. Abu owns a durian ice cream company. Okay, and he uses 1 ton of durian per month to produce durian ice cream and for him to sell the durian ice cream lah. Okay, so let's look at Mr. Abu's situation right now. He got a stock of 2 tons of durian at hand. How long do you think he can last? So currently we're in August, in the month of August. He will be using 1 ton of the stock that he got, 2 tons of durian he got right now. And then we'll be using another ton for the month of September. Do you think, so right now he doesn't have any more stock left for October, right? Because he only got two tons of durian. So right now, what's going to be happening in October is that nobody knows what's going to happen in October, whether the price of durian going to be going up or not. Okay, so what happens to the price is whether durian is going to be having a lot of demand or be losing demand in October is going to be affecting the price as compared to what's going to be happening in August. Okay, so let's say the price of durian, 1 ton of durian in August is 50 ringgit. In October, it can be 100 ringgit, it can be 25 ringgit, it can probably jump all the way to 200 ringgit. Nobody knows. Okay, so let's take a situation where nobody wants to buy durian in October. What's going to happen to the price? If nobody wants to buy durian in October, what's going to happen to the price? We lose demand. What happens to the price? The price drops. Okay, correct? So let's take a simple example, like if nobody wants to buy iPhone, right? What's going to happen to the price of iPhone? It's going to drop, right? Okay, so what happens if in October there's a countrywide durian festival? There's a lot of demand. Everybody wants to have a taste of durian in October. What's going to happen to the price? You have a lot of demand. Okay, you have a lot of people want to buy durian. the price goes up. Okay, so right now you have two possibilities, whether the price is going up or going down. So if you do business, every 1 ringgit decrease is bad for the business, right? So what should Mr. Abu do? What should Mr. Abu do? Anybody want to guess? Agreement. Okay, what Mr. Abu is going to be doing is he's going to make an agreement with Mr. Ali. Okay, he's going to be making a contract or perjanjian. Okay, what this means is Mr. Abu is going to make an agreement with Mr. Ali. Okay, Mr. Abu is going to make an agreement with Mr. Ali to receive durian in October. Mr. Ali is going to make an agreement with Mr. Abu to deliver the durian in October. So they're not buying or selling durian, but they're buying and selling agreement to deliver and receive durian. Understand? Okay, that's the most important thing that you need to understand when talking about futures contract, because it revolves around the Sharia issues as well. Okay, so in the case of FCPO, when they're making agreement between themselves, what are they delivering and what are they receiving? The CPO, okay, the CPO. All right, understand? Okay, so that was what I was explaining just now was a few forward contract. So the difference for futures contract is that it has exchange to regulate the buy and sell of the FCPO contract. Okay, is everyone understand about? Does everyone understand about what I'm talking about futures or not? Okay. Okay, I hope you understand that, because if you understand all the things that the Sharia issues that revolve around futures contract, whether it's about short selling or about buying and selling things that you don't have, it cancels out itself. Okay, so when you understand about what futures is, you won't be asking about, oh, kenapa short selling is not Sharia. Okay. All right, so because when you trade FCPO, you're trading an agreement or a contract to agree on delivering and receiving of the FCPO. Okay, so just now we were talking about durian contract. So this is the FCPO contract. So contract size, let's go through on the contract specifications. So this is FCPO contract. So contract size is 25 metric tons. Trading hours consists of 3 separate sessions, which are the morning session from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. Then the afternoon session, 2:30 to 6 p.m. And then the following day trading session, which is the night session, from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And the pricing unit is in Malaysian ringgit. Okay, so meaning if a cooking oil company from India wants to buy FCPO, they have to convert their money to ringgit. Okay, they have to convert their money to Malaysian ringgit. If there's a cooking oil company from UK wants to buy FCPO, they have to convert their money to ringgit to buy FCPO. Okay, so let's look at the market players. Who are the market players of FCPO? So first we have the retailers, okay, which fall under the speculator category, meaning that we trade and speculate whether the price is going up or down, depending on our analysis on the chart or from relevant fundamental factors. And then we have the arbitrager, the type of market players that trades and leverage the price difference between an underlying asset and the price of the asset's future contract. Okay, but you don't have to know about the arbitrager. The next one is the big players, which are the hedgers, okay, the operators, or maybe you can call it as the smart money or the composite man, whatever you want to call it. Okay, in this case, they're called as hedgers. So who are these people? Who are these big players? Okay, they are the big palm oil companies such as, okay, Tuan Azal says FGV, okay, Sime Darby, Tabung Haji Plantation, and then Sarawak Oil Palms Berhad, and many more lah, okay, and many more. I think if you've traded plantation counters in Bursa before this, then you probably have heard about the companies before. Okay, Market Indo ada FCPO tak? Yes, ada. All right, so why do these big players trade FCPO? Why? Now, if you look at last year, okay, last year in 2022, we saw that the FCPO dropped to a whopping 3,500 ticks downwards, okay? So judging from looking at the break from the start of the trendline break, it's about 2,700 ticks lah, okay? So let's say if you sell an iPhone at 5,000 ringgit, and then suddenly the value drops to 2,500, losing 50% of the value, do you lose money? Of course you lose money, okay? Because the value itself has dropped, okay? So for example, oh my God, I think I made a mistake. Okay, so for example, we saw a huge drop in July 2022, okay? This was when we saw on the technical chart, okay, FCPO broke the long uptrend line on the daily time frame as the first bearish signal, and then it subsequently dropped for about 2,700 ticks, okay? And on the price of the FCPO itself, it dropped half of the value, okay? From 7,000, it dropped to 3,000, around 3,500 ringgit, okay? Half of the value. Do you think these big players are going to be happy that they're losing money? No, they're not going to be happy losing money. So how do these market players protect themselves against this drop? How do they benefit from the drop itself? By entering short position, okay? Remember that FCPO is a two-way financial instrument, and you can sell high and buy low and still make profit. You buy low and sell high, you also get profit, okay? So even though they lose money from the value of CPO itself, dropping from 7,000 to 3,500, 50% of the value, they're still able to make money from the drop because they short. They take a short position and then they still gain money from that, okay? So in short, why do they trade? They trade because of money lah, okay? All right, my God, I think I made a mistake with the... Hold on. Okay, but never mind. What I'm writing on the slide is, what are the fundamental factors of the FCPO? Okay, what are the things that we have? What are the factors that we have heard about that are affecting the price? Is it the Russia-Ukraine war? Of course, it's Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, the Europe palm oil ban, the Golden Week festival in China, maybe the Hari Raya Aidil Fitri in the Muslim countries, or is it probably the minister making statements that CPO is going to be rocketing all the way to 9,300? It can be. You probably heard about Indonesia as well, making announcement that they are banning FCPO. Okay, those are the things that may or may not affect FCPO. For example, the minister's press statement that FCPO going to be reaching 9,000 ringgit and stuff. That doesn't really affect the movement of FCPO lah. Okay, but we're going to be looking at in further details of all the fundamental factors that are affecting FCPO. So, for example, in last year, okay, 2022, FCPO went up 3,000 ticks in 3 months. Okay, from I think it was in December all the way until March, it went up 3,000 ticks, and in about 21 days, it went up 1,910 ticks. How much money is that? If you convert it to ringgit, right, in terms of ticks, 1,900 times with 25 ringgit, how much do you get? It's literally a quick rich money scheme at the time when it went up all the way in probably in less than 3 weeks. Okay, in less than 3 weeks. What was the cost for the sudden rise this time at that time? What was the cost? It was the Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, it was the Russia-Ukraine war. Now let's look at the next slide. This happened in April 2022 last year. Okay, the price dropped 635 ticks in 4 hours, and a few days after that, it went up 519 ticks in 4 hours. What was the cost? Anybody knows? What was the cost? 635 ticks in 4 hours. You times that with 25 ringgit, how much money is that? Such a huge price range happening within a short time. So what happened that time was because of the Indonesia. Yes, correct. Indonesia banning and then removing, lifting back the ban for CPO. Okay. And then last one, okay. 925 ticks in 3 weeks. How much money is that? Okay, it's unimaginable. 925 times 25 ringgit. So what was the cost? Is it because your sifu tekan 1,000 selling lots every day? No, okay. So that time in March, this was in March this year, okay, what happened was all the vegetable oils globally having a bear market crash, okay. So all the vegetable oils going down and then it brought FCPO down as well. Okay, so there are multitude of reasons for which market behave in such way. So even though we know that the movement in futures market are technical, but a lot of technical movements are driven by the fundamental factors. Okay, so the most significant news that I have ever seen to the market is the Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, the time that we reach the highest volatility we've ever seen, at least for the past decades. Okay, so let's look at the fundamental factors of CPO one by one. Okay, so there's about 7. Okay, there's 7 factors that we're going to be looking at tonight. But out of all the 7 fundamental factors of CPO, right, it all goes down to the supply and demand. Okay, everything all comes back to the supply and demand. That's all there is to it. Okay, so for example, if supply is going up and demand is going down, what happens to the price? The price go down. Okay, so if supply goes down and then demand goes up, what happens to the price? It goes up. Okay, if supply goes up and then the demand also goes up, what happens to the price? Sideways. Okay, sideways, or probably sideways. I would say it's sideways. Okay, in the cases, in the real life cases where supply data and demand data happened, went up simultaneously at the same time, market was ranging. Okay, so let's look at demand and supply. So in terms of FCPO, what is the data for demand? How do we know that there is a demand for a CPO? How do we know that there is a demand for a CPO? What is the data that we're looking at? Is the export. Okay, is the export. When more people are buying from us, we will see a lot more exports. Okay, all right. So when there's more export, there will be more demand. When there's more demand, what happens to the price? The price increase. Okay, so there are 3 cargo surveyors. Okay, the three cargo surveyors in Malaysia that monitor the CPO export data, namely the ITS, the MSPEC, and the SDS. Okay. There's only three companies. I would say it's like 3 separate bodies that are that make survey on how much data for what is the data for CPO export every month. Okay, and then we have the supply part. So what is the data for supply? Okay, we have production and stocks. Okay, so when there's more production and more stocks in the market, but the demand remains the same, what happens to the price? More production equals to more supply equals to price going down. Okay, so who are the surveyors for the supply? We have the MPOA, we have the SPPOMA, okay, we have the Reuters survey, we have the Bloomberg survey. Okay, so how do they compare data? Is that they compare the period for every 5 days. Okay, so from 1 to 5, 1 to 5th, 1 to 10th, 1 to 15th, 1 to 20th, 1 to 25th, 1 to 30th or 31st, they compare the data with the previous month. So if they're comparing the export data for August 1 to 20th, they'll be comparing it with the last month, July 1 20th. So for example, let's say for example, August 1 to 15th, export data is expected to be positive. What do you think happened to the market? What do you think happened to the price? If August 1 to 15, export data is expected to be positive, what do you think is going to happen to the price? It's going to go up. Okay, you've already seen it in the market itself recently. Okay, So this is what happened lah. In the before August 15th came, actually there was rumors about export data being positive in late evening of August 14th. Okay, one day before that, in the evening before August 15th. So what happened is that why is there a gap up on August 15th? Because the market itself is reacting to the positive data from the chart lah. Okay, so it's when demand is increasing, you're going to be seeing positive reaction to the price. And then what happened in 15 August, it gapped up. Okay, so okay, so that's what happened recently in August 15th lah. Okay, and then the next one is the biggest data to rule them all, the official data. Okay, the ultimate, I would call it the ultimate data is the MPOB. Okay, the Malaysian Palm Oil Board. They usually release the data on the 10th of every month. So, and then if 10th of the month is a holiday, they will be releasing the data the next working day. Okay, so what kind of data did they release? The data they're releasing is the total performance for the whole month. Okay, so we're going to be seeing who's winning. Is it the supply? Is it the demand winning for the month? Okay, how is the export for the last month? Is it increasing significantly? Is it stagnant? Is the production improving? Is it improving significantly? Okay, all these questions have direct effect to the market. Okay, so where do we get the data? You can go to the App Store. Okay, you can go to the App Store and find Info Sawit. Okay, type Info Sawit in the App Store or Play Store, or whether you're using Android or iOS. Download the app and then click on performance. Okay, it shows the performance for palm oil industry for the whole previous month. Okay, so that's about supply and demand for the fundamentals of CPO. Okay. The next one is Indonesia. Okay, do you remember what Indonesia did to cause such a massive price change in short time to CPO? What did Indonesia do last year? The CPO export ban. Okay, they banned the exports of the CPO. Now we're going to look into that specifically after this. So before we look into that, let's look briefly who are the top producers and importers of palm oil. Okay, so who are the top producers of CPO? Okay, the first one is of course Indonesia lah. All right, the first one is Indonesia. The second is us. Okay, Malaysia, and then the third is in Thailand. The rest are probably making up the smallest fraction within the production of CPO lah. And then the next one is the importers. Okay, the buyers, I would say. I would call them as the buyers. Top importers. The first one will be in India. Okay, the second one being Europe, and then the third one is China lah. Okay, from this pie chart lah. So what happens if Indonesia stops exporting palm oil? What happens if Indonesia closes the market? Okay, and the only one that is exporting CPO is only from Malaysia. Who are the importers going to be buying from? Okay, they're going to be buying from us. Okay, when there's a lot of people buying who's supposed to be buying for Indonesia, but now they're buying from us, what's going to happen to the price? The price will go up. Okay, demand will be high, the price will be up. Okay, so when at the time President Jokowi, okay, made the announcement, okay, made a statement that he's going to ban exports of cooking oil and its raw material from April 28th. What happened was it caused a massive panic. Okay, I'll share the news here. Okay, this was when the Indonesian president decided to ban exports of CPO lah. So if you remember the chart, there are two main producers of CPO, which are Indonesia and us lah, Malaysia. So if Indonesia closes their market, where will be the buyers going to be buying CPO from? They're going to be buying from us. Okay, they're going to be buying from us. Like if you assume there's only, let's say in Malaysia, there's only Mid Valley Mega Mall, and then there's also Shariah KLCC. There's only 2 malls in Malaysia. You have Mid Valley, and then you have Shariah KLCC. And then suddenly, Mid Valley decided to close their mall, close entirely. Okay, where do KL people gonna be going to shop and watch movies? Okay, where are you gonna be going to buy your clothes lah, doing your shopping and everything? You're gonna be going to Shariah KLC, right? Because Mid Valley dah tutup kedai, okay? Then but the demand is still there in the market, okay? So if the demand goes up, what happens to the price? Price will go up, okay? As simple as that. So what happened was, the news that came out after the news about the CPO ban came out after our market has closed at 6:34 p.m. Okay, 6:34 p.m. What happened the next day was the opening session for 25th opened with a 240 ticks gap up. Okay, and the total price rise was from 6,200 to 6,800. That's about 600 ticks increase in a few hours. Okay. Now, the question is, what happens if Indonesia leaves the palm oil ban? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to the price? If President Jokowi, right, made a statement that he already made a statement that he's gonna ban, and then suddenly he said, "Nah, maybe I'm not gonna ban. Okay, I'm probably gonna leave the export ban." What do you think is gonna be happening to the price? This was what happened. Okay, this was what happened last year back in April. Okay, I shared a link in the chat section so you can see what happened on that day. Okay, so the afternoon session opened with a huge bearish movement. Okay, this is 1 hour chart. This is a 1 hour chart. So within 2 hours, the chart dropped 635 ticks. Okay, how much is that? Can you imagine at that time 635 ticks in 2 hours? Okay, I mean, what's the biggest movement that you've seen nowadays in 2 hours? Last year it was 635 ticks in 2 hours just because Mr. Jokowi, President Jokowi decided to play, you know, like tarik tali on the CPO plan. One time you say, wait, hold on. Let me share. Okay, I'll share in the chat. Okay, so just because Mr. Jokowi said he's gonna leave the ban, and then suddenly he said he's gonna ban, and then suddenly he's not gonna be banning CPO and all that stuff. Even as maybe like a simple statement like that, it can cause a huge volatility to the market. Okay, to the FCPO. So be prepared whenever Indonesia is making a statement about the import or export of FCPO. Be prepared, okay, because it may affect a huge movement to the market. Okay, next one is on the geopolitical issues. Okay, so the next on what is the geopolitical issue that has greatly affected FCPO in the past? Okay, of course it's Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, and then the issue is that the war is still not yet resolved. Okay, both parties are still in conflict, and we keep seeing the effect even after 1 year of its onset. Okay, so it's worth to bring this up again because it's not a one-time thing. Okay, it's not a one-time thing because the war is still not yet resolved. When was the last time Russia bombed a port in Ukraine? Last month. Okay, last month. Russia bombed a port in Ukraine last month. Do you remember what happened that time? Do you remember what happened? Market spiked from 3,900 all the way to 4,200. That was last month. Okay, that was last month. Now, of course, the effect is not directly towards our FCPO lah. Okay, but the effect is indirect. It's not what I'm showing on the slide is not exactly weight. Okay, but this is just to show the geography of the country that rely on the commodities around the region. Okay, so what was the cause of the sudden spike in FCPO from 3,900 to 4,200 last month? It was because of the sunflower oil from Ukraine. Okay, it's because of the export and the import of the sunflower oil. So if you go to Maiden, right? If you go to Maiden or Giant, and then you go to the cooking oil section or the cooking oil shelves, what do you see? First, you see the minyak masak CPO, okay, minyak masak sawit, probably like Saji or Alif. What else is that? What else is that? What other type of cooking oil that you see there? You see a canola oil, correct? Okay, you see corn oil, okay, you see the sunflower oil, yes, correct. So now imagine if you cannot buy canola oil, sunflower oil, okay, what are you gonna buy? Okay, let's say we assume people in the maybe Georgia, okay, canola oil, sunflower oil, and then what else? Corn oil cannot be bought because nobody is exporting or importing canola oil because they're afraid of Russia bombing them. What are they going to be buying? They're going to be buying CPO. Okay. So if everybody wants to buy FCPO, everybody wants to buy CPO, what happens to the price? This happened. Okay. I'll share another link in the chat. Okay. This happened. What happened that time was Putin. Okay, Putin announced a military operation in Ukraine. Okay, that was only the announcement. Okay, that was only the announcement, and by only the announcement, market closed 311 ticks in 1.5 hours. Okay, how much is that? 311 ticks in 1.5 hours. That is only the announcement. Now imagine what happened when the price sent the whole troop to Ukraine to bomb and attack Ukraine. What happened to the price? 7,000. Okay. Now probably at the time everybody's scrambling already. What else gonna be? What else they're gonna be getting cooking oil from? Okay. So at that time everybody was looking at CPO. Only looking at CPO, okay? They couldn't buy sunflower oil, and what other alternative that they have? They have CPO. So that's what they've been buying lah. Okay, then another alternative is the soybean oil. Okay, so God forbids, if Putin decides to go to war again with Ukraine or with anybody else, be ready. Okay. If Indonesia goes to war, let's say if Malaysia also go to war, and then you need to be prepared for what's going to happen lah. Okay, be prepared for what's going to happen whenever these big people, okay, the Russia, Ukraine, and then probably US as well, probably Germany start to make announcement that they're going to be going to war with each other, then we're going to be seeing the same thing happening to FCPO again. Okay. All right. The next one is the vegetable oils complex. Okay. What are the other what other vegetable oils that you know of? Okay. What are the vegetable oils that you know of? The first one that we have CPO. Okay. The one that we've talked about is sunflower oil. Okay. We have canola oil. Okay. We have corn oil. We also have FCPO's best friend, which is the soybean oil. And then there's a few others lah, like rapeseed oil. Okay. So this slide shows that there is a study done by MPOB researchers to find the correlation between CPO and other vegetable oils. Okay. So what they did was they compared CPO with the other vegetable oil prices for in the span of 30 years back. Okay, so what they found out was CPO and soybean is highly correlated together, up to 0.94%, 0.94 correlation coefficient. So if you look at the table below, okay, if you look at the table below, it sits on the very high positive lah. Okay, very high positive or negative correlation. So if soybean oil goes up, FCPO will also go up lah. Okay, so if soybean oil goes down, FCPO also will go down. Okay, but it's not one-to-one. You need to understand that the correlation is not one-to-one. Okay, the correlation is not one-to-one in the sense that whenever soybean oil goes up, it's not going to guarantee that FCPO going to go up as well. Okay, and it's not gonna guarantee whenever the soybean oil goes down, it's not gonna guarantee that FCPO gonna be going down as well at the same time, because the correlation is not one-to-one. That's what you have to, you need to understand. Okay, so if you compare the movement between China rapeseed oil futures and then soybean oil futures, what you will see that the movement is closely related. Okay, whereby whenever one goes up, the other one goes up too. Whenever one goes down, and then the other one goes down too. Okay, so in March 2023 was the month particularly when the FCPO was moving against its own fundamentals. Okay, against its own fundamentals and against its own supply and demand, because at that time in March 2023 the demand was positive and the supply was negative. Okay, the production and stocks was negative, but the demand, the exports was very positive that time. What would be the effect based on the supply and demand to the price? Demand was positive, supply was negative that time, March 2023. So we will be expecting the price to be going up, right? Okay, fundamentally yes, but in March 2023, what happened was because of all the vegetable oils was under pressure. Okay, Black Sea sunflower oil were dropping, rapeseed were dropping, wheat was dropping, Dalian Olein also was dropping, all because of the slump in the global demand. Okay, in the end, remember the correlation between CPO and soybean oil. Soybean oil dropped 1,761 ticks in 2 months. And what happened to FCPO was, even though the fundamental was positive, it still dropped. Okay, it still dropped up to 1,100 ticks in 2 months. Okay, it followed the correlation together with soybean oil and all the other vegetable oils. Okay, strong correlation doesn't mean positive relationship, right? Yes, correct. So, but meaning the correlation between soybean oil and CPO, it has a high correlation, strong correlation. So the movement, the correlation is proportionate. Okay, so whenever it goes up, whenever soybean oil goes up, CPO will go up as well. Okay. All right. The next one is import and export policy. Okay, import and export policy. So what country's policy on import and export will affect FCPO the most? What country do you think the policy on import and export will affect FCPO the most? It's Indonesia and India. We don't see a lot of China, okay? We don't see a lot of Europe, but at least for the past 2 years, there's a lot of movement happening just because these two countries are making changes on their import and export policies, okay? So let's go through this quickly now. So export, if the export tax goes down, okay, meaning Malaysia or Indonesia will be able to export more, okay, because the export tax is low, right? So they will be able to export more. So more export equals to more demand. More demand equals to price increase. Okay, to the moon lah. All right. So export tax go down, demand go up. Okay. So if export tax goes up, okay, less CPO being exported out, less CPO export meaning less demand. Okay, less demand equals to the ground lah. Okay, price going down lah. Okay. Okay, now we look at import tax. Let's say import tax mainly revolve around the buyers, okay, the importers, and the top importer of a CPO is India. Okay, so if India's import tax is high, okay, they made a policy and increase the import tax. So what's going to happen is that, meaning that they want to bring, they're going to be buying less CPO lah, okay, because the import tax is high. Okay, they will be buying less CPO because it's costly. Okay, so if they import less CPO, okay, if the buyers are not buying CPO, meaning the demand is less. Okay, less demand equals to price going down. Okay, and then the next one is, let's say if India decide to reduce the import tax, meaning the cost to buy CPO is less, like like this. Imagine if Tesla car, imagine if this Tesla car import tax is low, and then because of the import tax is low, the price of the Tesla itself will also be low. Will there be more people buying Tesla? Of course, right? Because if they reduce the import tax for Tesla, the price of the Tesla will be lower. Okay, when the Tesla when Tesla car is price is low, there will be more people buying Tesla. Okay, it's the same thing with CPO lah. So if the import tax is low, there will be more people buying CPO. So that equals to more demand. More demand equals to price going up. Okay, clear? Okay, before we go into this, any questions so far? Can everyone follow from the start of the webinar until now? Okay, we're gonna spend a lot more time on the Q&A sessions, right? Okay, so for example, if Indonesia cuts their export tax from $169 to $103 per ton, what's going to happen to FCPO? Indonesia cut their export tax. Okay, when they cut their export tax, meaning the big players, the palm oil producers in Indonesia will be doing a lot more exports. Okay, they will be doing a lot more exports. So when they're exporting a lot more CPO than before, the demand of the CPO will be shifting towards Indonesia instead of going to Malaysia. So if the demand shifts to Indonesia, is it bearish or bullish to CPO? Bearish, correct. Okay, price went down, price dropped. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so what happened was about 3 months ago, okay, back in May, Indonesia cuts CPO export tax for huge price drop from $169 to $103 per ton. Okay, what happened was in May, the price dropped in one day, okay, 368 ticks. One of the reasons is because of the market demand shift from Malaysia to Indonesia lah. Okay, we're losing a lot of demand, and what happened that time is when you lose demand, you lose a lot of the price will go down as well lah. Okay, so that was what happened in May, late May. Okay, so the next the second last one, okay, the second last topic for tonight is on the Malaysian ringgit. Okay, the Malaysian ringgit, which is the, if you remember when I explained about the contract specification of FCPO, what was the pricing unit? The pricing units was the pricing unit for FCPO is in ringgit, right? Okay, so the question is, since we've been seeing ringgit becoming weaker and weaker, even though we see some nice recovery after PRN, right? The question is weak ringgit bullish or bearish? Okay, is weak ringgit bullish or bearish? Weak ringgit is bullish. Okay, why? Why is weak ringgit bearish? Okay, this is just to show the contract specification lah. Okay. Meaning, as I explained earlier, if the people outside, people out there want to buy FCPO, they will need to convert their money to ringgit. Okay, so if there's a cooking oil company in India, they will need to convert their money to ringgit. Then only they can buy or sell FCPO. Okay, so if ringgit is weak, when they convert their money, they will get more money, right? If ringgit is weak, when they convert their money, they will get more ringgit. They will get more ringgit. So when they have more ringgit, they can buy more. When they're buying more, demand will increase. When demand increases, the price will increase. Okay, the price will increase. Okay, because of the direct effect on the demand lah. Okay. Now the opposite, whereby the ringgit is going stronger, okay, or when ringgit is stronger against all the other currencies, okay, meaning when they convert to ringgit, okay, let's say from India they want to convert to ringgit. When ringgit is strong, they will get less money, okay. Less money equals to less buying, okay. Less buying equals to less demand. Less demand equals to equals to price going down, okay. Understand? It's all about supply and demand, okay. It's all about supply and demand. So the variable when we're talking about ringgit is the demand lah, okay, whether the demand goes up or goes down, okay. Now if you look at the correlation, okay, the correlation between ringgit and CPO, okay, the right side is ringgit dropping all the way until it touches the low during Asian financial crisis in 1997 and 98, okay. And then on the left side, if there's CPO, what happened to FCPO? Went up, okay. It went up from 3,714 all the way to 4,300, okay. That's about 600 ringgit, 600 ticks price increase, okay. So one of the major factors that are supporting the price rise, okay, the price increase to FCPO back in January, okay, back in January, it was because ringgit was dropping, okay, because ringgit was going weaker and weaker and weaker, so weak that it reached the low during the Asian financial crisis back in 1997-98, okay. So when they saw that ringgit is going cheap, okay, the importers saw a huge opportunity to buy FCPO, okay. So when ringgit was going weak, they bought a lot of FCPO at that time because they can convert. They can, whenever they convert to ringgit, they will get more ringgit, okay, because ringgit was weak. So you need to remember that weak ringgit will also provide support to the price, okay. Weak ringgit will also provide support to the price. So whenever you see on the chart ringgit is going down, be mindful that the price will be supported as well, okay. All right, now the last one, the last topic for tonight, okay, which is the weather, okay. What weather event that can affect the production of CPO? Okay, we have the flood, okay. What else? Okay, El Nino, La Nina as well, okay. These are the three main events, weather events that can affect the production of CPO lah. Okay, so a study was done by MPOB back in 2016, okay, to find the correlation between CPO and weather, okay, and the weather events. In this case, it was El Nino and La Nina lah. What they found out was during the strong occurrence of El Nino and La Nina back in 1997 and 98, CPO price surged from 1,350 ringgit to 2,400 ringgit. Why? Why did El Nino cause the price surge from 1,300 to 2,400? Why? Production drop. Okay, back to the simple equation of supply and demand. When the production of the CPO drops, okay, supply drops, okay, supply drops equals to price going up, okay. Low production, low supply, price go up, okay, price to the moon. All right, so that was what happened back in 1997 to 1998. Okay, let's look at the recent one. Okay, let's look at recent one. I'll share a link in the chat for you to see what happened at that time lah. Any of you felt unusually sweaty or hot back in May? I know I did lah because that was so back in May, that was one of the issues revolving around the fundamentals of CPO in May. Okay, it was unusually hot, so whenever you feel the warmth, okay, the warmth and the the scorching heat from the sun, you need to remember it also has an effect to the CPU as well, to the CPO as well. Okay. At the time when the news popped up in Bloomberg Terminal, the market went up 150 ticks from morning until mid-afternoon. Okay, this is what happened. This one. Okay, when the news popped up in Bloomberg Terminal, it went up 150 ticks. Okay, and then it made the correction, and then it rebounded back all the way to 3,800 ringgit. To 3,800 ringgit. Okay, from 3,650. Okay, now that the temperature has gone down, the sentiment has already passed lah. So, but that time in May, that was one of the main issues that caused the price surge back in May. Okay, so let's look at recap. For the recap, right, I made a fundamental cheat sheet to summarize everything that I've shared today. Okay, also I made a calendar for all the things that I've shared. For all the fundamental factors I've talked about today lah. Okay, so to make a quick recap, we have the Indonesia. Okay, we have the export and import data. Okay, and then we have the weather, ringgit, geopolitical issues, policy, and vegetable oil movements. Okay, so if you look at Indonesia, we need to know about all the policies that I am making, whether they're banning CPO, whether they're exporting a lot more CPO. Okay, and then looking at the export and import data, you want to see whether we have a lot of exports, whether we're making a lot of CPO, we're producing a lot of CPO, whether our production is increasing or not, whether our stock is increasing or not, and then looking at the weather. Okay, when looking at the weather, we want to see whether looking at weather events that are happening like El Nino, okay, like La Nina, and then flood. Okay, and then also there's ringgit. And then whether we want to know whether ringgit is going up or going down because it's going to have an effect to FCPO. And then looking at the geopolitics, okay, the geopolitical issues, we want to know whether Russia is making attacks on Ukraine again or not, okay, because that's going to have a direct effect to the FCPO. And then looking at the vegetable oil movements as well, we want to see whether soybean is going up or whether soybean is going down. We want to see whether dalian is going up or dalian is going down. Okay, we want to see what is happening globally to the vegetable oils, whether it's going up, it's going down, or it's going down, because it's going to have an effect to the FCPO itself. Okay, but all these fundamental factors that are affecting FCPO, it all goes back to the supply and demand. Okay, remember that it all goes back to the supply and demand. All right. So this is a fundamental cheat sheet that I've made for everyone that have joined. I'm sharing the link in the chat. Okay, I'm sharing the link in the chat for you to download lah. Okay. This is a summary for all the things, for the important things that you need to trade FCPO. Okay. So especially on the calendar. Okay. The supply and demand data for the whole month, because on these specific dates you want to be waiting for this data to come out. Okay, if the data comes out as positive, we want to know whether the data comes out as negative, because it's going to have a direct effect to the CPO. Okay, so back in August, early this week, in Monday, I made a call saying that FCPO is going to be bullish because there's a lot of demand in the market. Okay, and then I was expecting there was a lot of buying that's going to be happening to FCPO. Okay, and then the export data also, I was expecting it's going to be bullish as well. And then what happened in August 15th to August 16th and until August 17th, the price went up. Okay, did go up all the way until 3,966 lah. Okay, so it's important for you to know. It's important for you to know what is leading, whether it's supply leading or is the demand leading. Okay, so if you understand who is leading, if you understand that the demand is leading, or you understand that the supply is leading, then you understand what is the probable next direction for the chart. Okay, So if you see that the demand, okay, the demand is positive, okay, that the demand is leading, okay, that there's a lot of demand in the market, and then you see that on the technical chart, you see that it's also going positive, okay, you see that it's also going into an uptrend, okay, probably from a bearish downtrend, it made the early reversal to become a bullish trend, okay, and then it's also supported by positive fundamentals. For example, export data being positive, and then supply data being negative, production is going down, stocks is going down, exports is going up, and then probably there's some rumors about Indonesia wanting to ban CPO, okay, CPO export, and then probably we heard about rumors Putin is going to bomb Ukraine and stuff. Then you tally that with what you're seeing on the technical chart, you make it, you join it together, then you'll be making a better decision on the chart. Okay, you'll be finding a better next the direction that will be coming ahead. Okay, so how do we get news early? Okay, so this is the ultimate secret. How do we get news early? Because I've shared about how aggressive FCPO can react to a news, right? Like the minute news is out, market immediately reacts to it. Okay, how do you get it early? Do you make friends with an insider? Do you get a WhatsApp number from Sime Dabi boss? Okay, you get WhatsApp number from FGP boss, or do you ask the minister, or do you wait for your miser? Okay, the fastest is from Bloomberg Terminal. Okay, the fastest is from Bloomberg Terminal, but to subscribe to Bloomberg Terminal costs you $2,000 per month. Okay, and your remiser should have access to the broker's Bloomberg Terminal, so you can definitely ask your remiser as well. But if not, I also share the latest news on my Telegram channel. Okay, FCPO News. The channel was initially created only for my clients, but I changed it to public so that others may get benefit from it too. Okay, so I've shared. Okay, but the other place that you can go to see the fundamental data that is coming out that is related to FCPO is that you can go to the Bursa Marketplace. Okay, you can go to the bursamarketplace.com. Okay. So if you're watching this webinar from laptop, you can bring out your phones and then search bursamarketplace.com. Okay, I'll show you how to search for the news. You open the website, go to the bursamarketplace.com, go to news. Okay, go to news and then hover on to the palm oil. I'll show you. All right, can everyone see my screen? Okay, so go to Bursa Marketplace. Okay, click on Bursa Marketplace. You hover to tools. Okay, go to the tools and then go to the news. Okay, and then you click on the topics and choose palm oil. Okay. The news that you will get here is of course not as fast that you would expect on getting from Bloomberg Terminal. Okay, Mr. Norden asked how fast early news. How fast early news is minutes. Okay, minutes before it happened. Okay, it's not an hour or day early. It's minutes before it happened. Okay. Bloomberg Terminal. Okay, Bloomberg Terminal is like a news platform that is being used by a lot of financial institutions. What's good about Bloomberg Terminal is that the news come out as early as minutes before market reacting to the news. Okay. But this is the news that you're seeing on bursamarketplace.com is I find it very informative lah. Okay, because here in the website we will be seeing all the summaries by the palm oil analysts every morning, every afternoon, every evening. Okay, they always update the news, the market reviews here. Okay, and the news that you're seeing, okay, the fundamentals that you're seeing here is taken directly from the Bloomberg terminal itself. Okay, so you don't have to pay $2,000 every month lah, and you can get it for free just through this Bursa Marketplace tool. Okay, so like for example, this is the latest palm oil analyst review on the market. Okay, this came out in the evening actually. Okay, so sometimes you can even get you see this. Okay, you can even get a Reuters analyst elite wave mapping for FCPO every morning, you know. So this is the latest mapping by Wang Tao. Okay, the guy name is Wang Tao and he's the Reuters analyst lah. And he maps FCPO chart every day. Okay, every morning actually. Okay, that's it. Let's look at this morning. If I'm not mistaken, he posted on Bloomberg Terminal, and then Bloomberg Terminal redirects probably to the Bursa Marketplace as well, and then he page here. Let's see, this one. Okay, whenever you go here and then you see the word technicals, okay, technicals means it's from the Reuters technical analyst. Okay, so you click that. It summarizes all it explains in detail where FCPO is possibly heading. Okay, so you copy and paste here, and you take this one as well. This came out in the morning actually. Okay, this came out in the morning. So in the hourly chart, okay, this is the hourly chart. He predicted that FCPO is going down. Okay, is going to go towards 3,861 ringgit per metric ton. Okay, because from his chart, he expected that there is a resistance at 3,943. Okay, so this is the hourly chart analyzed by Wang Tao. Okay, Reuters technical chartist. Okay, and then this one is the daily chart. All right. So did FCPO go down today? Yes, of course, as predicted by him lah. Okay, this is on the technical side. Okay, but you can also see all the other reviews by the palm oil analysts as well in this page. Okay, all right. So that's all for tonight. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much, Dr. Ari, for doing this session for us. I guess that is a really excellent session talking about the fundamental analysis of FCPO. So if any questions to ask our speaker today, please write them at the Q&A box. All right, not the chat box. Okay, so we have got a number of questions on my panel. The first question is asked by Faisal Ghazali. How do we get the latest CPO news from Indonesia?
Okay, so how do you get? We're considering that the most important news coming for Indonesia is the policy changes. How do you get news from the policy changes from Indonesia? Is from Bloomberg Terminal. That's where you should be getting lah. Okay, but the problem is Bloomberg Terminal costs you 2,000 per month, like I mentioned. So the next source of information that you should be asking is your remiser lah. Okay, because if you want to wait for the news to come out at Berita Harian or The Edge Malaysia or The Star they're gonna come out late. Okay, they're gonna come out late. So you have to ask your at least you have to ask your remiser. Okay, you ask your remiser what's happening. If suddenly we see the price is going down for 200 ticks and everything, and then suddenly there's rumors about Indonesia changing policies and stuff, you should be you ask your remiser what is happening, because he has the access to Bloomberg terminal. Okay, and then tell him to share the news to you as well. There's no other platform that you can get it as fast as possible. The fastest that you can get is from Bloomberg terminal.
Do you mean every remiser has access to Bloomberg terminal, or they need to be at the office to be able to access that?
I expect every remiser would have an assistant with the broker, okay, and then with the dealers, and then the dealers should have access to Bloomberg terminal, okay. So you can clarify with the dealers from the brokers or remiser, whatever is happening to the market.
All right. The next question is asked by Ta-un. So may I know, is FCPO trading at discount or premium against the soybean oil? What is the status right now? Are they at discount or are they trading at premium?
Okay, right now, CPO is trading at, if I'm not mistaken, the last I saw yesterday, we were talking about CPO trading at premium. Okay, and then as compared to the sunflower oil, rapeseed, they were trading at discount. And then because of the discount, sorry, I think I got it mixed up. CPO is trading at discount as compared to rapeseed and sunflower oil. So because of CPO is trading at discount as compared to the other vegetable oils, there was a lot of demand coming to FCPO. Okay, so because of FCPO trading at the discount, meaning it's we saw a lot of buying that we're getting to FCPO, and then we saw that the August 1 to 15 data for export data was positive, okay, positive from all 3 cargo surveyors, and that was one of the reasons why FCPO went up as well. Okay.
Right, thanks, Doctor. The next question is, does CPO producers in Indonesia take part in BMD FCPO trading?
The thing is, the global benchmarking of CPO is in Bursa Malaysia Derivative. Okay, even though Indonesia has made the benchmarking, made an effort to make a benchmarking and already launched back in June or July, if I'm not mistaken. But the global benchmarking is still on FCPO. So whenever they see that the price is going up or going down, they will want to hedge their position on FCPO. So if they're expecting the price of FCPO is going down, okay, let's say they're expecting price is going down, they will be losing value from the CPO itself, losing value from the price decrease. They would be hedging their position by taking their short positions in BMD FCPO under the Bursa Malaysia Derivative.
All right. Thanks so much, Doctor.
Okay.
The next question is asked by Shahida. Salam, Doctor. Is there any relationship between the FCPO price and the US Federal Reserve raising and lowering the interest rate?
Okay. Okay, the correlation between FCPO price and US Fed, whether they're increasing or decreasing interest rate, it doesn't have any direct correlation. Okay, there's no direct correlation between FCPO and the interest rates. But what happened? How it can affect FCPO is from the interest rate affecting, okay, the changes in interest rate affecting the in some extent to the USD, okay, and to the extent where USD to the US dollar strengthening or weakening, it will affect ringgit. Okay, and then when it affects ringgit, it goes down to the same thing, whether ringgit is going up or going down lah. Okay, but there is no direct correlation between FCPO and interest rate. So to answer your question, whether the changes in interest on interest rate affecting FCPO or not, no, but it affects on the currencies. Okay, and if it strengthens USD or it weakens USD, and then alternately weakens ringgit or strengthens ringgit, then you will have effect to FCPO on the purchasing power.
So there are some indirect impact from the impact of the foreign currency exchange.
Yes.
So the next question by Jing Hern is that, is there any reason behind why there's a correlation between soybean oil and the palm oil?
Okay. The reason why, okay, under the vegetable oil complex, right? Why is soybean oil is correlated with FCPO, with CPO is simply because it falls under the same category under the vegetable oils. Okay, it's interchangeable. Like for example, if you go to my, it's the same thing. Like if you go to my den, and then on the shelf or the cooking oil shelf, you see CPO, you see canola oil, you see sunflower oil, you see corn oil. It's interchangeable. Okay, you can still use corn oil to fry your chickens, right? Okay, and then you can still use the other different oils to cook. Okay, so when the price of, let's say we say soybean oil, when we say the price of one vegetable oil is going up, it's going to affect all the other vegetable oil as well. Okay, simply because when, let's say for example, okay, let's say for example, canola oil price go up, the demand to buy canola oil will shift to the cheaper options. Okay, the demand to buy canola oil, which is now trading at an expensive price, will shift to CPO. Okay, will shift to the different cooking oil. Okay, so for example, canola oil is expensive, people will buy corn oil. Now if corn oil is expensive, people will buy sunflower oil. And then let's say if sunflower oil is expensive, they will buy soybean oil. Okay, and then let's say if soybean oil is also expensive, they will buy CPO. Okay, so it's because of the interchangeability between the vegetable oils. That's how the correlation is made. Okay.
All right. So what does our FCPO has any correlation with the Dalian palm oil?
Okay, Dalian palm oil is also it's basically the same thing. It's like a derivative of palm oil as well. So whenever Dalian palm oil is going up, that means we see that there is a demand in the palm oil market itself. So when there is a demand in the palm oil market, and then we will see the same thing happening to CPO as well. Just that I haven't found any research study that has been done to the palm oil contracts under the Dalian Commodity Exchange DCE, with CPO and the PMD, like the one that we saw in the study happening between CPO and soybean oil. But from what I've been seeing from my experience is that there is a positive correlation between Dalian Olein and CPO. Okay, so whenever you see a huge price increase in Dalian Olein, or when it drops or gap down for 500 ticks in Dalian Olein, then it's gonna have the same effect on CPO as well.
All right, thanks, Doctor. The next question is by Arif Muhammad. There was 1 month, July, I think, that the market moved against the fundamentals suggested after MPOB data was published. How frequent does this happen, and how do you explain the contradicting market movement?
Okay. I think back in July, there was a contradicting movement that happened, which I agree with you. Like for example, we take in March where we had positive fundamentals. Even MPOB also released a positive fundamental data. Supply and demand was positive, and then supply was negative. And then we were expecting price to increase, right? But what happened was on the chart, it didn't move. Okay. Like for example, July was trading sideways. Even though we see that export was increasing, and then production didn't really increase that much, but export was increasing more than it was back in June. But chart wasn't going as bullish as we expected. Okay, so for example, like the one that you said back in July, what happened was export was positive. Okay, the demand was positive, but at the same time in July, the supply was also positive. Okay, the supply was also positive. The production was positive. The stock was positive, and then the export, even though it's positive, the demand had to compete with the supply itself as well. So what do you think happened to the chart back in July? It was sideways. Okay, back in July it was sideways because of the conflicting the supply and demand fighting each other. But it managed to maintain at the area above 3,900 because there was still demand in the market. Okay, export was positive as we saw in the MPOB data. So if you look back, the only pushing factor back in July was because of the war. Because of Russia bombing port in Ukraine. If Russia didn't bomb the port in Ukraine, we're probably gonna be seeing very mild bullish and sideways happening in July. Okay, we already had a long sideways in July, and then we saw a sudden spike, but it didn't turn into bearish market. Okay, so that's why important lah. So as long as you see that the price is being supported, then you should know that the demand is still in the market.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Arif, for your wonderful explanation on the contradicting market movement back in July. All right, so it looks like we have come to the end of this webinar. So ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from the top remiser of Bursa Malaysia 2022, Dr. Arif Zainuddin, who is the remiser of Phillip Capital. Thank you so much, Doctor, for doing this webinar for us, mastering the fundamental analysis of Shariah compliant crude palm oil futures.
Welcome. Thank you so much to everyone for joining the webinar tonight. I hope you got a lot of knowledge from fundamental analysis on FCPO, and I hope you can make better judgment to predicting what is the next possible direction for FCPO. Okay, and be vigilant, be alert with all the things that could happen to FCPO whenever news is coming out. Okay, so now that you have learned all the things about all the factors that are affecting the price in the chart of the FCPO, you should be you should by right now you should know what is the expected reaction to the chart. Okay, so if you have any questions, okay, you have any more questions on especially on the fundamentals and everything, you can always PM me at Telegram, or you can contact me on Facebook or Twitter, or I prefer on the Telegram lah. Okay, because there's a lot more things to be discussed in fundamental analysis of FCPO, but the things that I've been talking tonight, I believe it's sufficient for you to make a better decision when trading FCPO.
Certainly, Doctor. Thank you so much.